Hello everyone, welcome to this class. Today we are going to look at safety and security as part of our hospitality facilities management. And why are we talking about safety and security in hospitality management? Remember that in hospitality we are dealing with the customers, and that is why within the hotel we have various facilities where our guests which our guests are using, and therefore we need to ensure that each and every facility is safe for the guest. Therefore, we are saying that when you look at today, the hospitality managers must understand the safety and security need. Why? Because one, they affect the employees, both the employees and the guest. Two, they also affect the influence, the financial of the success of the business. Therefore, it is important that we, at all the time, it is important that we look at the security and the safety of our facilities, because if we don't do that, then we are going to affect both our employees and even the customers. Therefore, I want us now to look at the motivating factors for the managers to address safety and security issues in the hospitality facilities. What are these motivating factors? Why do you think the managers must be able to look at the security issues and safety issues? One, there are various factors. One of them is that it's a sense of the responsibilities. It's a sense of the responsibility for the welfare of the guests and the employees. As I said that, remember, safety and security will affect both the employees and the customers. And therefore, if their safety and security are not checked, therefore, it is going to affect them. And then, for the managers, it is their responsibility to ensure that both the guests and the customers are protected. Their safety are looked at. Their securities are looked at. Two, concerns over the costs of losses associated with the safety and security problems. Remember that we are in business. Hospitality is a business like any other business. And any security issue that is going to affect the customers or affect the customers or affect the employees is also going to affect the financial issues, the profit of the company. For example, if one of the employees got injured, if an employee gets injured, which means this employee is not going to come to work for some times. And if the employee doesn't come to work, what happens? You are going to employ another employee who is going to work on behalf of these employees that is absent. So which means you are going to pay the two of them. And then if you pay the two of them, that means that your cost will rise up to our customers. When a customer gets injured within the hospitality facilities, remember, if it is because it is the responsibility of the company or the establishment to ensure their security measures is taken. If that one is not done, remember that this guest is going to be paid. So that one already has affected the financial, has caused the financial losses, because another thing is that these guests will not come. For instance, a guest lost his or her property within the establishment. This guest will not come. And this one, the guest is going to share it among other people. So you find that many customers will fear, and that is when now you are going to incur losses due to the security issues. Another thing is that concerns over potential legal liabilities of failure to exercise reasonable care. What we are saying is that you remember that the hospitality is also governed by the law. And then one of areas, as I said, that it is the responsibility of the establishment to ensure that the guests and the employees are taken care of. Their securities and safety are taken care of. So automatically, there are some issues whereby the employee or the client can take the establishment to court if their security and safety is not looked at. So that is one of the motivating factors, because they know very well if anything happens and they are taken to court, then they'll have to be liable. Another motivating factor is corporate policies and procedures that establish standards. There are standards that are set. There are standards that are set that are set so that each and every establishment, including hospitality establishment, they operate under that standard. So the standard should not be lower than the standard that is set by the corporate. Another factor is governmental regulations. The regulations that are set by the government. So remember that once the government has set regulations, that regulations must be adhered to. If they don't adhere to it, one, there may be a cancellation of the license that particular establishment will not operate. So that is a motivating factor. If they look at that and they know very well if they don't do that, then they are not going to operate because they shall have defied the regulations that are set by the government. And lastly, we talked about concerns for employees' welfare, productivities, and retention. Remember that employees like environment that is conducive for working. Any environment that is not conducive for working, the employees will not stay there for long. So that is one of the motivating factors that each and every establishment would want to retain their employees as many years as possible. But if their employees are not put under a well secured environment, these employees will leave very fast. And therefore, it is a motivating factor that will make them to ensure that their employees are retained. And another one is about market issues related to safety and security standard expected by the guests. In hospitality, most of the time, because they are dealing with tour companies, that is agents. So before the agents gives you a client, they have to check on the security issues, safety and security issues of that particular establishment. So you find that they'll check, is your establishment in terms of security and safety, is it okay? So if they find it okay, then they'll give you customers. If they know or they find that your establishment has security issues, they'll not give you the customers. And that is where now you find that your establishment is not getting a lot of customers because of the security issues. And that is why you find that sometimes back when terrorism, the issue of terrorism was too much in Kenya, some of the hotels were not receiving guests because they were not taking care of the safety and security issues within the establishment. Let us look at safety and hospitality industry. That is, we are looking at the risk management. Risk management, first of all, it is important to know what about safety. What do we mean by safety? Safety simply means free from any danger. So safety management is any action that you will take to minimize or to prevent any cause or of injury or accident within the establishment. While risk is any possible event which could lead to damage or loss. So how do we manage this? We must ensure that we lower the injury or illness rate that may affect our clients. And by doing this, we need to come up with some preventive measures that will help us to manage our risk and also to ensure that our safety measures is taken care of. So I want us to look at some of the key elements of safety programs that will help us reduce employees' injury. As I said, that our employees are important and they are assets, and therefore, within the facilities, they must be kept safe. And what can we do so that we reduce some of the injuries that can occur? One thing that we must do is to ensure that we compose communicating by composing and communicating to all employees, all employees using a written policies that will relate to the organization commitment to safe and what to expect of the employees. With that, I mean that there must be a committee that is formed by the establishment. This committee will always communicate through written policies so that the employees, whenever they are working, they know, they have a document that shows them when you are working, for example, where employees are using machines. One of the policies might outline that before you start using a machine, then you must maybe use the manual or contact anybody who is conversant with that machine. Okay, when you look at the hospitality, we have various facilities like swimming pool we have. So you will find that before in the swimming pool, there are some policies that are laid. One of the policies that before you use that facilities, you are told to ensure that you register with the security guard who is manning the pool, so that in case of anything or any assistance. And then maybe another policy may be outlined as if you have a child, you should not enter with a child in the swimming pool, or check the deepness of the swimming pool, so that those are elements or programs that will help reduce the injuries within the facility. Two, facilitating and using the input of line managers of the safety matters. This means that you see, mostly line managers are like heads of departments. They have a wide knowledge of the facilities. So the establishment can use their input or the advice that they give, so that help in the curbing or reducing of the injuries. And the three, setting realistic goal for accident reductions, closely monitoring progress, and rewarding reductions. Remember that anything that you want to achieve, there must be some goals. So even reducing injuries, there must be some goals that establishment will set. At the end of this, we must achieve this so that, and also, besides setting goals, there must be also close monitoring. You must check on the progress, the goals that you set, are you achieving at the end of it? If, for example, in the hospitality, we have so many activities that are taking place. Let me take an example with someone who is working in the kitchen. If you realize that there are a lot of burns within the kitchen, people do get burns. So you can come up with some goals and make sure that each day, what should we do so that each day we reduce the rate at which people are burning within the kitchen. And then you monitor whether those goals that you put aside each day you achieve them. Then you do that close supervisions, and then you can find that if you realize that a given department is one that is affected, or within the kitchen, you can even say, if we realize that this month or this week, we get a week without any report on accident, we are going to give this as a reward. Then you check, you realize that people will take care, because remember, people normally like what, they like benefits. Next is requiring accountability for accident reductions. So each and every maybe period that might have been set by the department or establishment, you must inquire any accountability to ensure or to check whether there are some reductions. Next is offering a modified or transitional duty program to return injured employees to work soon. Okay, that is also another program that will help reduce the injuries within the establishment. Because there are some people who will just get injured so that they can be given maybe sick off or sick leave. But if there are some policies that say that, okay, maybe you will be given sick off for 2 days or 3 days. Whether you are still sick or not, you will come to work maybe after 3 days. So you realize that people will not like getting injured, or will be faking injuries, because they know even if you fake, if you are sick or not sick, we will be still required back to work after maybe a short duration. But if you give a long one, then you realize that that is where people will always look for something that will make them injured. Then they get those sick leaves and off days. The next one is training. This one should be training, retraining, and more training. Training and more training is also one of the programs that will help the industry or the establishment reduce the injuries within the facilities. Because, you see, when you are trained on how to operate something or how to handle something, you are trained, and you are trained. Then you are going to get more conversant on how to use that particular item. Let me give, for instance, with the machines. We have various machines that we are using within the hospitalities. We have what is called maybe dough mixture, or a dough mixture, that is a machine that it rotates, or potato peeler, it rotates. So sometimes you find that someone who does not know even how to use it, and you find that some employees at its rotates, they insert their fingers, and all of a sudden you find that their fingers get injured. And in that case, you are going to give them all sick off, because they will no longer work. They will no longer be productive. But if you train them that if this one, as it rotates, do not insert your fingers until, if you want to insert your fingers or you want to check whether whatever you are doing is done, please make sure that you put it off first. So you see you are training him or her on the use of the machines. So they'll not they'll do exactly what the training has been. And two is giving the manual. Before you start operating a machine, please use the manual to guide you. And next is establishing specific safety-oriented behavior as a performance measures from the management. And this is something that mostly is being used in the hospitality industry or facilities. If you are new in a department or in an establishment, you will be taken through. You'll be taken through so that you don't just come into contact with a facility and start using it before you know how it is used. Even going to a field, there are some areas that you are told, please don't go past this area. You won't use maybe a facility or a field, you want to go and play, and maybe that field, it has some holes in which you do not know. It's a facility. And if you go there without knowing, then you can easily enter into a hole that eventually will make you lame. So the program is that before, if you are new, you will be taken around to all the facilities and be shown areas that are safe and areas that are dangerous. Okay, I want us to move to security issues within the establishment. And why are we talking about security issues? And we are talking about security issues because within the establishment, we have a lot of issues pertaining security. And for us to reduce potential for security problems, we have to look at several designs and operational features that a design or hotel can adapt. You see, the design, how the hotel or how the hospitality facilities are designed can reduce or can encourage the security issues. One, we have what is called installing education locks. This installing education locks, meaning there are some places that you can use locks that you need to go through them. It's a manual that you need to look at before you open a certain place. Two, providing growth with the information about property securities and safety procedures. Okay, this is where this is where you either guest, a customer, or an employee. As I said earlier, that you see sometimes you can have new employees within the establishment or the customers, they do not know. But now you must have some information, written or verbally. You can just have some pieces of a piece of paper, whereby this piece of paper it's full of information about the security within the place. So they'll be able to read, go through it, and have the information about the security within the place. Two, three is that equipping guest room with louvers. Just like just like those information that talked about, within the guest room, we have those items. The items they are called louvers. So they have information that will help the guest in case of anything. Then the guest will be able to help him or herself. Then we have also installing automatic door locks in guest room. And this is what is normally nowadays being used in most of the hotels, whereby these automatic locks. These automatic locks, they have, some point we call them automatic key locks, whereby they are like cards. So these cards, they are fitted with the passwords. So if they are fitted with passwords, so if you are a guest and you go with the right key, you just, it's a censored door. So when you reach at the door and you place that key card on the door, then the door will open because it will sense the kind of passwords that is keyed in or fed. So you realize that that kind of key card will help reduce the chances of insecurity. Those who are intending to get into the door, into the room, without the knowledge of the guest will not get that access because they will be locked out. Another thing is ensuring windows do not open wide enough to allow trespassers. You know, within the hospitality setup, there are people, there are employees, there are other customers. So you must ensure that each and every time the windows are closed to bar anybody who might be having an intentions of maybe entering into other people's rooms without their knowledge. Next is about travelers' safety tips. How can we ensure that our travelers, our guests, they have the tips about a given establishment? I'll go through this very fast. One of the tips that we'll give to your travelers or the guests is that always verify. You will tell them, this is what you will tell the clients. Now, when you are briefing them, you can brief them using a document. You can brief them just verbally, because before they interact with the establishment, they need to know more about the establishment. So, one, you can tell them, always verify, confirm every door knock, and properly call the desk. That means that you will tell the clients, please, because this is an establishment, all these people we do not know. So, if maybe you realize that someone is locking and you are not sure of who is locking, kindly, if you are not sure, call the front office to verify whether there is someone who has been sent there. Because if you don't do that, anybody can knock, even someone who has a bad intention. And if you open, that is where you will find that the guest is being attacked. 2, use the main entrance to the hotel always, and especially in the evening. You must ensure that you tell the guest that as a guest, you do not know other routes apart from main gate. Because with the hotel, they know the only route that we'll use is the main gate. If you don't use the main gate, so, there are some guests who are, sometimes when they enter the hotel, they can interact with other people, and they start now sneaking out without the hotel knowing. And then they come with other routes that is not. So you find that if you use another route other than the main gate, the hotel will not, shall have not known that you've gone out. And if you've done that and something happens outside, then they will not be in a position to help you. So that is why you are always, the customer is always advised to use the main gate, so that as you go out, you will be recorded that you are out. Anything happens, now the hotel will be able to refer. Next is that do not display guest key in public or carelessly. The guest must be encouraged that keys is yours, it is confidential. Your key, don't display it to others, because someone can just sneak or take your key without knowing and then open the door. Next is that do not draw attention to yourself by displaying large amount of cash or expensive jewelry. There are some guests within the hostel facilities, they come with a lot of money, and then they start now, even if they don't say, they can display in one way or the other, and that is when someone, because as I said that not all these guests, they have genuine intentions. Some of them, they have some weird characters. They want a way in which they can steal from other people. So if they see that you're having a lot of money, they can easily steal from other guests. So that is why you must be able, the guest must be told not to display any amount of money that they are having. Next is do not invite strangers in your room. You must advise the guest. Please, anybody, because if you meet here and you have not known one another, don't trust these people. So don't invite them, because if you invite someone whom you do not know, this person can take that opportunity to steal from your room. And next, place all the valuable items in the hotel's safe deposit. Their safe deposit, whereby hotel guest or a customer can be advised to keep their belongings, especially cash or expensive properties. They keep them with the hotel so that they are safe. And next, always ensure that all sliding glasses or windows are locked. Report any suspicious activities observed to the management. That is also one of the tips that you can give the guests, that if they observe maybe a certain behavior that is not normal, then they should report it to the management so that the management can take actions. You see, someone can, an employee or a guest, another guest can just come and knock the door, maybe, and you find that the information that this person is giving you is not relevant information, is an information that want to victimize the guest or intimidate the guest, then the guest should notify the establishment or the management for them to take actions. I want us to talk about terrorism in the hotel industry. Remember that terrorism is something, is an aspect that has made some of the hotel facilities to lose their guests and eventually lose their profits. And therefore, especially terrorism attacks come as a result of the locations of the establishment, locations, the clienteles, and the income status. Like the other time, I think some few months ago, I think last year, late last year, one of the hotels in Nairobi were attacked because, remember, it was just too close to the road. So the terrorists could be able to, were easy. The hotel or the facility could be easily accessed by the terrorists. So how can we protect, or what are the measures that we can take to mitigate the risk of terrorism attack within the hotel? So there are some measures that can be taken. One is to encourage personnel to be alert to any suspicious behavior and report any actions that appear to be constitute of a threat, which means that you must the employees must be trained on how they can identify any person who can be a threat to the establishment, and then they can be told to report that kind of behavior. Two, use vehicles barriers or pole boards or rearrange traffic patterns. Now, okay, you find that this is another way of doing that, because this one, barring them, you are having some bars whereby if a guest comes, you don't trust every guest. Just make sure that you have a bar whereby when they come, they have to stop for check, so that you are able to check what the client is having. If the clients may be having maybe some harmful weapons or something like that, you are able now to know this guest, the intention of the guest. If the guest is okay, then you release the guest to proceed with his or her visit. Then also control access to the building. Not every time you allow everybody. You must be able to control the access. If someone comes to the gate, make sure that you ask them what they need from the establishment. You ask them to register with you at the gate, so that in case of anything, you have to trace. Then restrict. Be aware of persons who are leaving clothing that is wrong for the weather, visibly loose. Okay, there are some people who they put on, if they have wrong, bad intentions, these people, sometimes they tend to put pullovers, and then they insert or they hide some things, some weapons inside. So that is why your hotel is always vigilant with the people. Even if you are putting a coat at daytime, they must be asked, the security must ask why you are putting a coat, and then must do a thorough search to ensure that, okay, you have no bad intention. And lastly, regularly train personnel on terrorism prevention. It's also important that your personnel are trained about terrorism intentions. And I want to say that thank you very much for listening to these lessons. And if there's any questions, maybe be able to answer. Thank you very much.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.